A race with an international flavour here at PF. Paul Aaron and Alessandro Ciaranetti on the front row of the OK Junior guest class, with Malte Jakobsen and Dexter Patterson on the second. Beganovic, Day, Henrien, Maloney, Hansem and Del Guante on the top 10. Keeping out for some of the star names in the field, including just outside the top 30, young Jack Doohan, who is the son of MotoGP legend Mick Doohan. Away we go! Great start at the front, and the 19 of Paul Aaron hits the front. There's a lot of jostling as they go under the bridge for the first time through the long sweeping left-hander. Paul Aaron is out in front doing an absolutely cracking job as he leads the early charge. Absolutely amazing jostling as they work their way through the field. Keep an eye on the 15. I think I saw him just in the middle of the pack there, so there's quite a few drivers trying to charge their way forward, but it's Paul Aaron who leads the way as they all dive them way into the right-hand hairpin. And no major dramas in this first lap as everybody picks their way through cleanly. The 96 there in second position is the Italian Alessandro Ciaranetti in front of Dexter Patterson, the Scotsman.
Lots of invited guests, or guests have turned up to do this class this weekend. There's so many for the OK Junior class, they've had to run the guests as in their own race, basically. That's Ciaranetti's details, the 96 kart.
And that's, of course, because they're getting ready for the World Championships, which will be here very shortly.
Coming up in October, that's why so many people have come to this final round from around the world to get some experience here at PF International. You can see the rain has stopped. It's still slightly damp, but they are on slicks now.
Well, this is definitely one in the eye for the British racers who race in the championships here anyway, because if they can beat some of the cream of international talent on their own home soil, then this will definitely mark them out for some greatness, as Patterson decides to do just that, dives up the inside of Ciaranetti and moves up into second position. Great stuff. Now he's got to take on Paul Aaron in the lead as the rest of the racers pluck their way through. Aaron, Patterson, Ciaranetti, Jakobsen, then it's Beganovic, Maloney, Simmons, Day and the Frenchman Guillaume as they work their way through. There's Dino Beganovic running in P5, leading the charge. Hard underneath him is Zane Maloney trying to close up. Then it's Alex Simmons in front of Jamie Day and the Frenchman Guillaume. They come into the final chicane, blasting down the main straight. It's all going gravy for Paul Aaron at the moment as he leads the way. Dexter Patterson tucked right underneath him though, as likewise the 16 of Maloney is trying to go for Beganovic. Up the inside, no, that's beautiful defending there from Dino Beganovic. He holds on to the position, nothing doing. He's not going to get through with a cheap overtaking move today. And there's still battles further back as we've got Xavier Hansem being caught by Zach O'Sullivan. Patterson for the lead!
And we just saw Jack Doohan on the move as well, coming off the bridge, made up a place off the bridge. He's made up, looks like half the field. Started on P31, and he's showing some of that Doohan family talent for motorsport. His dad was on two wheels. His dad's decided that four wheels the best option for his son.
Well, not at all surprising considering Mick Doohan's injuries at the Misano round of the MotoGP, or 500cc as it was known in those days, of course, in 1999. But absolutely fantastic work this out in front from Dexter Patterson, who has hit the front in an absolutely brilliant run ahead of Ciaranetti. Paul Aaron, fourth position is Jakobsen. It looks to me as though Beganovic is still hanging on in front of Zane Maloney, although Maloney is working very hard indeed to work his way forward. Up the inside, this is the move for second. Paul Aaron goes side by side with Alessandro Ciaranetti, and I think he's just about had to concede on that particular occasion. Yes, he has, so he's there in third, having another crack at second position, no doubt, very shortly. There is the 44 of Beganovic making his way back into sixth position past Alex Simmons in the 42. Aaron dives up the inside in the left-hand hairpin on Ciaranetti, moves back into second position in front of Malte Jakobsen. Then Zane Maloney in the 16 kart there in fifth position, just trying to tag onto the back of this queue. 44, Beganovic in front of Simmons, with still Day and Orient closing in. Absolutely brilliant battle in the opening stages of this one. Down to the chicane again. Left. Right, plenty of curve on the inside, not on the second apex, you'll notice, because they want to get the nice draft on the exit of the corner where there's plenty of grip. As they come under the bridge once again, Patterson's got himself 2 or 3 kart lengths. That's enough at this stage to be comfortable, but through the left-hand sweep up the Litchfield Bridge, that is a move from the 88 of Jakobsen. Jakobsen moving for third position. I think he's got there. Malte Jakobsen into third position, is he? Yes, he is, but now Ciaranetti's got through into the lead of that battle for third place. Jakobsen down to sixth position now as the 44 comes alongside Dino Beganovic. Malte Jakobsen now P5 as Aaron slots in front of Ciaranetti. Jakobsen has still got Beganovic to his left side. but he manages to slot there into 5th position in front of the 42 in 7th place of Alex Simmons. Great battling as the two out front have managed to break clear. That's Paul Aaron in 2nd place. Simmons makes the move.
Simmons made the move, but then lost the place as the 22 kart of Orion went up the inside and did himself a pair.
Yeah, the Frenchman Guillaume Orion has definitely given himself a great advantage there, up into, what is that, 6th position he's moved up to now, and left the 7th position squabble to fend for itself. That is Zach O'Sullivan in the 17, having worked himself up into 7th position. It's Skittles as they work their way through the Litchfield Loop. Looked like there was a bit of contact in the middle of all of that as they all try and work their way through at the tail end. Charlie, 53 in the back of that little pack, trying to move up is Suleiman Zanfari. There is Jack Doohan though, up into P14 as he works his way through. This is incredible from the number 15, still only 14 years of age, and big shoes to fill in terms of the fact that he's the son of a 5 times MotoGP legend champion. Here we go on the inside, that's the 44, making his way back through. Dino Beganovic gets the move there on the 28. Tucked out wide, that's Alex Katoulas, and almost a collision there as the 18 of Dan Skokdopol manages to make his way through. Absolutely incredible. Look for an opportunity to get through, guys, because this is like rush hour traffic on Doomsday. Everyone trying to come through.
Absolutely amazing racing in this OK Junior class. Again, as we said earlier, a lot of these drivers will be here for the World Championships. Up the inside, Orion looking for it again. Has he got it done? I'm not sure he has, no.
No, Malte Jacobsen hangs on to it for the moment, and once again, the 18 there of Dan Skokdopol tries to make his move on the inside, and there's a good overtaking move there from Anthony Familuro. He's managed to make up another position. But this is absolutely terrific squabbling. The 53 tucked in that little battle as well as Suleiman Zanfari starts to make up the progress he's been trying to for the whole race. Some good overtaking moves in the mid-pack there. Great to see such an international flavour around the PF International circuit as so many drivers are trying to stake their claim for World Championship status next month on this very circuit. The 22 though, Guillaume Orion, still giving hassle to Malte Jacobsen. We need to be keeping an eye on these names because these could be the Formula One drivers of the future, given it 15, 10 years down the line, maybe even. We've seen some pretty incredible talents go from the world of world karting status, like Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, of course, most recently, Esteban Ocon. They've all ended up in Formula One one day, so some of the names on this grid, we're going to need to come back to this in about 15 years' time because some of them might be world champions.
It does amuse me, though, that we've got the Alonso chassis. You hardly ever see Fernando.
Oh, there goes Doohan. Doohan makes the move.
Yeah, another great move there by Jack. We don't often see Fernando at kart meetings, but then again, he does own his own track, and Danny Ricciardo's just set up his own kart team as well, Jake.
Yes, indeed. You're going to see the Ricciardo chassis make its way onto British and international status in the next 5-6 years or so.
I think it is here this weekend, in fact.
So out of the final turn. This is the pair battling for the victory. Dexter Patterson and Paul Aaron. A little further into the race. This is the gaggle for 3rd position, led by Zane Maloney, with Alessandro Ceranetti in the Italian-based team. That is the Experience squad, of course, in the 4th position slot at the moment. In there behind is the 22 of Guillaume Orion, the Frenchman. And in there in 6th position, I couldn't quite make out who that was. We'll have to wait till we get back to the straight. That is the 17 in there of Zach O'Sullivan, the English charge, trying to take on some international flavour.
Jack Doohan was on the back of the group going over the bridge, up the inside. Orion makes a move and makes it stick. Ceranetti drops back one. And then the 17 in behind is Zach O'Sullivan.
88 in there as well. Malte Jacobsen still very much part of the gaggle, so he wants to move up a few places. Spots of rain on the camera lens. They're going to have to be very careful that it doesn't get too heavy too soon, and they're certainly going to want to react to it. Guillaume Orion up to 4th position in the gaggle. Where is Jack Doohan? The 15 is starting to catch in on these guys. There he is, just a little way behind the kart in no man's land, just in that little squabble. That looked like Jamie Day in the 24. This is the 22, trying to move up into 3rd position, getting a bit of hassle from Ceranetti. Ceranetti sweeps through. Then it's Day, Doohan, and the 42 of Alex Simmons in that little group. A little further into this contest. Magnificent racing all the way through. The battle for 3rd position behind these two, Patterson and Day, is still incredibly close, and it's led by Zane Maloney in front of Ceranetti and this 17 in there of Zach O'Sullivan.
Jack Doohan on the back of this group, now up to 9th place, started P31. I think Dad will be well happy with that.
I think everybody's happy with that. That is a stonkingly good drive from 31st on the grid to 9th position. Proof then that the apple doesn't fall far from the motor racing tree, does it? Albeit on 4 wheels rather than 2, like father, like son. That Doohan blood is absolutely rich in motorsport success. Now Patterson leading the way here in front of the 19 of Paul Aaron on the Alonso, the Ricky Flynn Motorsport team. There's a massive gap back to third. Cherinetti challenging for third. Contact! Oh, up in the air! Cherinetti rides over the top, and that is it. Game over for both him and Zane Maloney. Let's watch. Maloney gets sideways. They rub wheels. Airborne goes Cherinetti, and somehow everybody in the queue misses them. Absolutely amazing. We rejoin it on the last lap. Patterson out in front of Aaron, and I can tell you that Jack Doohan is absolutely rapid around this circuit. He's just moved up into 5th position, and that's why he's got the pace to be the fastest man on the track, 57.20, although it looks to me as though he may have picked up some nose cone damage somewhere. He may get a penalty, which would be heartbreaking in such an incredible performance. But Patterson, meanwhile, takes the flag in front of the 19 of Paul Aaron. Zach O'Sullivan third over the line in front of Malte Jacobsen. Jack Doohan crosses the line in 5th on the road, but sadly he will get a nose cone fairing penalty. He won't mind at all. 31st to 5th. You can't deny that boy's got some skills.
He has indeed, and he's here to practice for the World Championships. That's a priority, so he'll take the positives out of this weekend. P31 to 5th on the track. Exceptional. Patterson from Aaron and O'Sullivan, top 3. Just talk us through that race. There was quite a lot going on, wasn't there?
Yeah, started 4th, got a good start, ended up 3rd in the first corner, got into the lead about 4 laps in, and then just maintained the pace to the end.
Who do you want to thank for your win this weekend?
Forza Racing and GFR Engines.
Great win by Dexter Patterson in a competitive field. Another competitive field coming up in part 3.